Today, we're looking at Krishna's Earth. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Now, Krishna's Earth is a brown ink. To make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples, I put the ink into a different pen for a day, I then put it into a fountain pen Revolution Himalaya with their flex nib to take my notes for this video. Before we look at the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is the chromatography, and I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down and immediately put it into water for 10 to 15 seconds. And what we see is this kind of golden yellow that pushes up and then a nice rich brown across the top. The one on the right, I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. And that golden yellow is more pronounced as you see it drag its way up. And that's largely the difference that I'm seeing in both of these chromatographies. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it might be to clean from your pen. Now, I let the smear dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, it handles itself basically okay. The top of the capital H has a little bit of blur to it, but other than that, that extra fine becomes about a fine, and there's no real blowout and blurriness to make me worried. As a note taker, I'd use it. Water really only removed the darkest tones of the ink. It left a lot of that brown in place, a nice light brown. It's a nice color, but there's a lot of ink left behind. Pen Flush did everything that water did and nothing more. We get no added effect out of using the Pen Flush. Now, the 1/3 bleach solution did completely remove it from the page. And if you have to use a 1/3 bleach solution to get this out of your pen, just make sure that you flush it with water well afterwards so that you don't get any kind of rusting. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average viscosity of 2.5, with a realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Krishna's The Earth has a viscosity of 1.82, making it a wetter ink. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done with the extra fine and medium nib on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Krishna's The Earth has an average dry time of 7 seconds, making this a very fast-drying ink. Now, let's look at the writing sample. I picked this ink up in bottle form, and I am so happy to have this ink. I enjoy brown inks. This one is fun to write with. I'm okay. To keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium, and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Now, this writing sample was done during the Great Paper Shortage at the beginning of 2019. At a particular point, I was running out of some papers, and so I have fewer here. Let's take a look at the Clairefontaine. We get no bleeding and no ghosting. The 1.1 is a beautiful, beautiful light brown tone. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen. Now, there's no shading here, but the brown is gorgeous. The extra fine is a slightly darker tone than the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen. It does have some shading that it offers. Like in the, it gets a little lighter at the top of the H. The K in quick gets very dark. The B in brown is very dark. But for the most part, it's a uniform green. It took 4 seconds to dry. 4 seconds. And it's a good thing that it's fast. We're going to see that today. The medium is a darker tone than the extra fine. The medium has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, and the shading doesn't come through because it's a darker ink. And because of a very fun property that it has. It took 6 seconds to dry. Now, the scrubby for both showed us no color variation. We saw a tiny bit in the extra fine. The smear test you could definitely recover if you smeared while you were writing. Tomoe River. No bleeding and a ton of ghosting because it's Tomoe River. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shading. It's a beautiful light brown tone.
The medium is a bit darker and a great mid-brown with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 7 seconds to dry. The medium becomes a dark brown tone with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 10 seconds to dry. There's so much that I should not like about this ink. It has some nice tones. It doesn't have a lot of other properties, but it's fun to write with. 10 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We got none. The smear test, yeah, you could recover that, even on Tomoe River. Rhodia, no bleeding and no, well, minor ghosting. The 1.1 has a beautiful light brown tone with no feather, spread, halo sheen. That's why my cord is in the way. No shade, 5 seconds to dry. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the 1.1. The 1.1 is a beautiful light tone. It has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine is slightly darker, and it is truly just slightly darker. It has no feather spread, halo sheen, and no shade, 5 seconds to dry. The medium is significantly darker than the extra fine. It is a beautiful dark brown. And I normally don't like browns this dark, but this is just very nice. This ink has a whole bunch of stuff going for it. The medium has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 7 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it in the smear test. Yeah, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. So I have to zoom way in for us to take a look at this. What's so fun about this ink? See if I can make it do it. We getting to see it? Maybe we need more light. Am I going to drown you with light? Watch out for the white balance. It goes on, and it's nice and light, and you watch it darken. You watch it dry. See if I can pick it up, get you closer to the camera. You watch it. It goes nice and light, and it goes dark right before your eyes. That whole dry time, no guessing with this ink. You watch it dry in seconds, and it color changes beautifully. Oh my goodness. This is neat to watch. It is fun. My last paper is Krishna paper. Krishna paper is hazel paper. It's a hazel notebook. I need to zoom out to a normal. There we go. Is that normal? That looks about normal. Hazel notebook, the Noonday Brocade Pocketbook, and they have been great. These books need to come to America because the paper's fantastic. It is a bit toothy. I don't mind that. And on a walk-around notebook, this paper takes all inks. It takes all challengers, no problem. The hazel paper has no bleeding and no ghosting. The 1.1, beautiful, beautiful, light brown for the 1.1 with no feather spread, halo sheen, and no shade. Now, this is the first time this happens. The extra fine is the exact same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather spread, halo sheen, and no shade, 2 seconds to dry. The medium is significantly darker than the extra fine and the 1.1. The medium has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, gorgeous dark brown, 3 seconds to dry. The scrubby for the extra fine and the medium show no color variation, and we didn't get any. And the smear test, yeah, you could recover this if you smeared while you were writing, without a doubt. And that is all that I have for the writing sample.
Instead of finding inks that look like Krishna's The Earth, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. And I wanted a nice bright blue with this beautiful brown. I chose Diamine's Florida Blue. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of Krishna's The Earth? Now, I like brown inks, and this is a gorgeous brown ink. And on top of that, the color change that occurs while you're writing with this ink is amazing to watch. It makes writing even more fun than you would have ever thought possible, because it goes from being, I mean, you get to watch it completely oxidize and darken into place. You would really have thought this to be an iron gall ink, but I don't see anything saying it would be. It's gorgeous. Thanks for watching.